And we are live. Good evening and welcome, everybody. Before we start, we're obviously in the throes of the worst weather that's come along to England in many years. In actual fact, it's the worst weather since 2013. And with that, we may lose internet connection. So obviously I've got to warn you of that now, that if I suddenly disappear, then I will have lost my internet connection. So you'll have to hold on and bear with us. I've got a couple of guests with me tonight, and hopefully they'll keep the stream running while I get back with some internet connection. If it does happen to go off, that means we'll have had an electricity cut or something. So hopefully not. Keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll have a decent show tonight. So good evening and welcome to my two guests also.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, all.
So obviously tonight we've got to say that as usual, we're in the usual YouTube stream rules and regulations, and anyone under the age of 14 years are not allowed to view my videos. So if you are under the age of 14 years, can you please leave now? Thank you. So, and we have another guest.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Good
evening.
Evening, Dave. I'm not sure that you're right. You sound like a duck. You must have a loose connection on that mic.
Right, I'll see if I can switch you on to another mic.
Okay. So,
I might go off and come back on.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Let me have to switch mics.
Okay, thank you. Right. Okay then. So let's have a look at the chat, shall we? There's been quite a few in the chat this evening. We've got Bexac Lit. Hi Dave, or hi Bexac. Bexac Lit. Thanks for joining us. And we've got, are you doing the Ecto 1 Ghostbusters build at all? I'm not, no. And I don't think Chris Davis is, and I don't think Adrian Langley is. And I don't think Dave Milne is. But there is other YouTubers that are doing the Ghostbusters Ecto 1. It's a fabulous model. We are doing mainly ROUTEMASTERs on my channel and the channels that I belong to, but I do belong to other channels that do the Terminator, that do various other things as well, and the Jaguar, of course, and several other projects. So Bexac Lit, you're quite welcome to join us and the stream if you like at any time that I do a stream, and you can show us the build that you are doing. That would be great, because that would add extra entertainment to my channel and obviously give you a showing of what's happening with your Ecto 1. And that extension of a welcome is to anybody, so long as it's nice and clean and green, as always. No swearing, of course, and no rude content. And other than that, you would be quite welcome. So, how is your ROUTEMASTER coming along so far? Well, my ROUTEMASTER, as you know, we're doing 2 in this household, because my wife's doing 1 too. My ROUTEMASTER has been stable and static and got nowhere at the moment. In actual fact, yeah, it's been sawn. In fact, it's right behind me here. If I move that way, you'll be able to see the front of it, just there. And that is at, I believe, issue 75, something like that, which has just got the top deck seats on. And you can see that just over my shoulder. So that's my ROUTEMASTER. And the reason for my stream tonight mostly is so you can have a look at Christine's ROUTEMASTER, because there has been progress on that. And there'll be more about my ROUTEMASTER later on. So, and hi Chris, how are you going? How are you going? How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
He's good. And are you doing the R2D2 build?
No, I never done that.
No, I'm not doing the R2D2. I think you've done the R2D2 build, have you, Dave?
Yes. Can you hear us okay now?
Yeah, it's still a bit crackly, but I can hear you better.
I'm actually using the monitor as head microphone because this microphone seems to have went off.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit crackly. I wonder if it's like a connection problem, you know, with a bit of wire or something.
Some on the wires.
A plug.
I don't know. I'm using, as I say at the moment, I'm using the headphones for this. I'm not using the mic to be turned off. I'm using the mic
The
on
computer, yeah. Yeah, well, that's a lot better now. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll carry on.
I think I'll have to get these sent back to the shop.
Yeah, I would. So, how many issues is there of the ROUTEMASTER? Right, the ROUTEMASTER is 130 issues in total. So that's 130 issues in total. We're up to issue at the moment in the newsagents this week of 103. Next week, it's due out 104, and that's usually on a Wednesday. So that's issue 104 next week. So that means there'll be 26 issues left.
Yeah, I've had a problem with my ROUTEMASTER.
You had a problem there?
This is where some people are going to have to watch out for. Putting the top deck on.
Can I just bring you on stream a minute then? And go on then.
Putting the top deck on, I found it wasn't in the middle. It seemed to be rocking.
Yeah.
And I found out what it was I went on to Facebook, put the problem up today, and some people come back with some ideas. So I took it off, went underneath and had a look, and I found it's your wiring loom.
Ah.
So what I've had to do is actually go in with a file and make some of it and file the underside down where the wires go through.
Yeah.
To make that a bit deeper, so the wiring loom would get further in. Now it's made the roofs. Now it's made. Now when I put the top on, it sits a lot better.
So that explains an awful lot, actually.
Mm-hmm. So if that happens to anybody else, and they're thinking it's when you pull one side down, the other side's going up, you don't know what the problem is. It could be your wiring loom.
Well, thanks for that, Dave, because we obviously come up with problems like that, and as a matter of fact, a bit later on when we see Christine's ROUTEMASTER, I had exactly the same problem putting Christine's ROUTEMASTER together, and I knew there was something wrong with it when I put the top deck on. She was guiding it on, and I put the top deck on, and I knew there was something wrong, and we couldn't quite work out exactly what it was, and we said it was either them pegs that go into them holes in the top of the bottom deck roof, or it was something to do with the wiring.
Mm-hmm.
And
one of them pegs is right next to where the wiring loom is. There's a little bit right next, so you got to make sure it'll take. I would file your holes down.
Yeah.
So you can get the wires further in. Then it should drop down further.
Yeah, thank you. We'll do that because obviously, you know, we need to look at that seriously on both of ours, and it's going to be a careful put together.
Because I thought it was a problem with my cab.
Yeah.
I thought something's not going on here, and it was when I went on Facebook. Somebody says, "Check your wires, see if they're catching."
Yeah.
So I thought, oh well. So I took the black part off.
Yeah.
With your wires, sat the thing on I took all the wires out. You know, I took the whole of the cab roof, the black
Yeah.
cab roof, including the wires all the way back. Sat
Yeah.
it back on the bus, and I says, "Oh, there's no wobble here. It's sitting, so it's got to be that." Put it so. Decided that must be the problem. So I'd failed all along the thingies. Put the wiring back in. Put the cab back in.
Yeah.
Tried it back on top. Bingo. Went right down.
Excellent.
So,
Brilliant. Yeah, well, that's the solution then, isn't it? That's absolutely the solution.
That made them notches deep enough.
Yeah, I understand. I think somebody was saying that the bell gets trapped as well. The bell rope gets trapped, and the bell mechanism gets trapped on the underside of the roof as well.
I found the back end went down no problem, right into them notches. It was just that front end.
Just the front, yeah.
Once I got that sorted out, the front, them little notches went fully home.
Yeah, excellent.
And it dropped right down.
Marvellous. Lovely.
So everything lines up.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we've got the StreamYard joining thing there in the chat. So if you want to join, you're quite welcome. We're allowed up to 6 people in the chat. And you have to have either Google Chrome or StreamYard or something like that. Google Chrome.
Google Chrome's recommended, but if you're on an iPhone, it's Safari.
Oh, Safari, is it, Chris? Yeah, thank you for that.
If you're using an iPhone, then yeah, but it's Google Chrome for computer or tablet.
Yeah. And I've just put hello everyone, I hope you're all okay. And then we've got P40F20 in there. Good evening all. Good evening P40F20. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we've got Mark's Mods. Hi all. Hi Mark. Thanks for joining us, Mark. Got to thank you for you a bit later as well. And we've got Paul61C70. Hi everyone. Hi Paul. Hope you're doing good. And Marty McFly. Hi Dave. Hi everyone. So hi Marty. All right. And then we've got somebody new here. We've got Dawn Broadbent. Hi Dawn. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're all right. Hope Clive and the boys are all right. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy our little update tonight. You'll see Christine's bus, and you'll see bits of my bus and bits that we've been doing. So keep watching. I'm sure Clive will take a lot of interest in this. Okay. Anybody else in the chat? No, not yet. Unless my chat's been real slow.
That's about right.
So,
what's people thinking of sticking the figures down with?
Well, I'm thinking of sticking our figures down with super glue once we're happy where they are. And that's simply because our models for 2 or 3 times a year, maybe more, will be taken to shows. And I've already got some boxes lined up, which are flight boxes. And my lad is hopefully getting me these flight boxes. And they're actually on wheels. And so we don't have to lift them anywhere. We can just wheel them into the house. We can load the buses into them. And we can put the lids over, because the lids go straight over the models. There'll be foam inside, so it'll stop them rocking around. So the foam inside will stop them rocking around. And then the idea is that they'll be wheeled out then from the flight boxes. They'll be wheeled into my trailer, and they'll be taken to various places to show them off. And I've just noticed in the chat there we've got another good friend of mine, Darren Kendrow. Hi Darren, thanks ever so much for joining us. I must say at this minute I'm chuffed that you've joined us tonight. I'm going to show off Christine's bus tonight more than anything else. She's been working on Airbus today. I've done a bit more painting to it, and I'm going to set myself a challenge tonight. And the challenge is that I am going to catch up to Christine's bus in the next month. About 30 issues behind. In fact, I'm 33 issues behind on my bus. My bus is behind me. You can see it there, look. And I'm going to catch up on Christine's bus within the next month. So that's my challenge from tonight.
Dave, I've got an idea for you for that.
Pardon?
I've got an idea. If you catch up on Christine's bus, do a giveaway on your channel.
Give it away?
Oh, no chances give that away.
No.
That's the way to say him to do like a competition.
Give a giveaway. Well, I might think about that. Yeah, I might think about that. That might be something to think about.
Just why I asked about the figures was my downstairs deck. I used them stickers. What you get on your issue 90s what? But because 103 didn't give you any, because you haven't even told you took the figures in.
Yeah. I think your sound's going again, Dave.
Yeah, it's cracking. It's crackling on my side as well.
Same here.
Yeah.
Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can still hear you, but you're crackling a bit. I wonder if it's down to your microphone that's picking on your laptop.
Oh.
I'm the microphone on there, but let's just change mics again.
I'll give you a few minutes to sort that. So if you're all right. Oh, you've gone mute now. We can't hear you.
Yeah, probably something there. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't hear him now. So we can't hear you, Dave. So I wonder if it's down to the setting. Right. Where was we?
No comment.
He's probably looking at his settings, sort of thing.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. So your comment is, I all check my channel. I do lives every Tuesday. Yeah, Chris Davis up that way. He does live streams every Tuesday. He's building the Jaguar, the 1/8 scale Jaguar, and is building the ROUTEMASTER as well. Yeah. So and he's getting along famously with that. So that's grand, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Don says, looking forward to seeing Airbus. Yeah, well, I'll give me a few minutes and we will. And we've got Adrian Langley, and he's
just saying hi all.
That way, saying hi all. So obviously you can check Adrian's channel out as well. Yeah. Adrian's building the Terminator, and that's is that 1/4 scale or something like that, Adrian?
1/12.
Say that again.
1/2.
1/12, I think it is.
1/12 scale Terminator.
I think the Terminator is.
Yeah, that's it's an amazing model. It really is, and it's going to have working parts and working head and lights and hands that grip like that, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing model. So Martin McFly, hi Dave. Do you think the problem in China with coronavirus will affect deliveries of issues? I'm not sure if the parts are made in China. Whoa. No. Yeah, well, jokingly apart, we've actually said about this. And coronavirus, as far as we're aware, you have to be in quarantine for about 2 weeks, 14 days. And before the coronavirus is non-existent. Now that's passed from droplets from your mouth to one mouth to another in the air because it's a virus. So that I have absolutely no idea on whatsoever. All I can do on that score is be with everybody else and keep our fingers crossed that A, there's no coronavirus on the parts that we get, and B, that the parts aren't affected by deliveries any more than is necessary, because there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with their parts from subscriptions, and because Hachette have changed their warehouse, they've moved warehouses, and there is now a backlog of issues for the ROUTEMASTER and other part works that they actually do. So all we can do is keep our fingers crossed and say there isn't a delay, and we hope and pray that there isn't no coronavirus on them neither.
Mm.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Right, I've disconnected the headphones.
Yeah, I can hear you perfect now.
That's right, yeah.
So I'll just go back down here, Dave, and then we'll come back to you. Yeah, thanks, Dave. It'll be good to see your bus in East Yorkshire livery. Already looks great. Thank you ever so much indeed. I would like somebody from your company to pull some strings for me to get my bus or buses displayed in head office somewhere or something like that, or at the big bus day. I'm sure somebody could rig something up like that for me, quite possibly. Maybe I'm trying to pull some strings that maybe aren't there, but I think especially the East Yorkshire one would look. I'm really, really happy with how it's coming out, and I think everybody else will be as well by the time it's finished.
Yeah.
So, Dave, you was telling us about gluing the figures down.
Yeah, as I say, downstairs passengers I've used with them, what you call it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because issue 103 didn't get them, and I'm now getting ready to sort of put the ceiling on.
Yeah.
I was thinking of gluing what I've got left in.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought about using super glue.
I don't blame you at all. I'm going to glue mine in, and for the simple reasons as I've said, we're going to be transporting ours to various shows and events in flight boxes, so they won't move around so much. But in case they do move around a little bit or a little bit of vibration, I want my figures to stay put. And the only way they're going to stay put is if we glue them down. Yeah. And Fleetwood J has actually been ever so kind, and he's donated me some glue. And he's brought me, he's sent me some glue, some super strength super glue, and we're going to be using a double that on each figure once we've decided where we're going to put them in each of our buses.
You can see where my figures are.
Just a minute, Dave. Yeah, you've got the super glue as well, Adrian.
Yes, I got the super glue as well.
I've put I've got my gentleman at the back.
Yeah.
I've got my man and lady in the middle, and I've got the young lad at the front.
Yeah.
I haven't glued the young man, the gentleman and lady, and I haven't glued the boy in yet.
Yeah.
I've fixed it at the back.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm getting mine up. So this is practically ready to put the roof on now.
And did you sort of move them around from seat to seat until you was happy with them where you wanted them to
be? Yeah, I found that the gentleman sits better at the back. Excuse me, I'll just I don't know if you can still hear us when I'm moving.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Because his legs seem to be a bit too long for going in the other seats.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd put the guy and the lass together as a courting couple.
Yeah.
And the little boy at the front, because what little lad loves to sit above the driver and pretend to driving.
Yeah.
I used to do that when I was a kid. Loved to stairs above the driver, pretend I was the driver.
So did I. Yeah. Yeah, many times.
Well, that's how I've set me up.
until I became a driver, and then it was a whole different kettle of fish. Yeah, you knew what it was about then when you became a driver.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we have a quick look at what we've been up to?
Oh, go on.
Go on then, he says. Go on then.
Go on, Dave.
Yeah. Well, just give me a second to get my camera sorted out then, and we'll have a look. And we'll go from there and see what we can see, shall we? And we'll have a little look.
Mm.
So, what have we got here then? Can you still hear me all right?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, well, we've got some parts here. Oh, let me go full screen. I nearly logged out the stream then.
Well, yeah.
Are they a bit white at that?
No, thank.
Or can you see them?
Right.
That looks better.
That looks better, right? Okay. Well, what we've got here is the offside of Christine's bus. And I just wanted to explain to you what I'm actually doing. Christine's not very good at painting, and who can blame her really? Because it's really, you've got to be cool and look when you're painting. The green on here is superficial, really. It doesn't matter. It's only the fact that we're painting it green because the outer panels are going to be green. So obviously their green is where the outer panels are going to go. And this is the offside of Christine's bus. And as you can see here, there's red around the outside of each window. And you might notice that on some windows, like this one, the red only goes halfway around. And that's because it fits one of these in. One of these sliding windows fits in there, and you have your sliding window. And on the real bus, the red only extends on the Shilliby bus up to there, each side on the sliding windows. It doesn't have red above the window. So obviously all this has to be hand painted, and believe you me, that is a job and a half, because you've got, you know, the lip, the inside lip, the outside lip, and you've got to get it smooth with this outside surface here, you know, so that it looks right. And
did you use any masking, or did you do it by hand?
no, I did it by freehand. What I didn't want to do was risk anything being pulled off the paint here by masking tape, because if it pulled the paint off, it meant that I would have to start again, strip the whole thing down, and start again, just by a bit of masking tape. So I thought,
because usually modelling masking tape is pretty low tack.
yeah, I've actually tried that on several other pieces that I've actually tried, and even though that these are sanded down beforehand to give it a key, it still pulls the paint off unless you leave the paint for about 2 weeks to really harden. Well, of course, that defeats the object, really. We're wanting to get it done as not as quickly as possible, but as practical as possible. And waiting 2 weeks for each little bit is going to be... Pardon?
What tape were you using?
It was Tamiya tape.
I'm surprised at that, mate.
Yeah, Tamiya low tack tape. Tamiya low tack tape.
Unless it's to do with metal, because Tamiya's always sort of with plastic kits, because
that's exactly what I was thinking, Dave. That's exactly what I was, because obviously these are metal parts. So that's exactly what I was thinking. Painting these plastic parts is an absolute nightmare. They don't want to cure right at all. I don't know whether you can see that. You can see that it isn't actually cured very well at all. If I go nice and close, if the camera will pick it up.
I think they've just been clear plastic and dipped.
It maybe won't pick it up properly.
Yeah, I can see the little
Yeah.
blockers.
See the little lines in it, can't you?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to show you that because obviously it's a problem. If I sand it down again and recoat it, then I would have to recoat it by hand. There's no good spraying these plastic parts. They just will not take it at all. So all these plastic parts have to be done by hand. So that's more time consuming. But let's put the light on now. I hope you'll all agree that when you see the bus itself, you'll all agree that it will be worth it in the end.
Oh, she's looking lovely.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
because obviously this is the near side of Christine's bus, and you know, we've got the red around here, and the half there, and the half there, and sliding windows, and the same at the front. The red on the front ones do extend a little bit further, so you can see all that in there. We've temporarily put this together for tonight's show, and hopefully it gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. Hopefully it looks all right. We're a bit dizzy cam at the moment, but it's because the bus is so big, it's difficult to get in the camera. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
It's
it
a
really is.
Bringing that part over before, trying to get it to maneuver it so you could see the camera. It's impossible. You know,
That's right.
I'm
That's
just the camera off the computer, and it's still just stuck on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, what you can tell from here as well is that from this is that we've now got Christine's bus on David Buckingham's base. It's lovely, lovely base that David Buckingham has done. He is a master craftsman in wood, and I would thoroughly recommend anyone getting one of these bases to stand their bus on. And that's simply because you can easily pick the base up each side, and you can carry it around easy. You can display it on there, you know, on your sideboard or wherever you want to go and display it. I've coated this one with some beeswax, some clear beeswax, and it just made it.
It's fitted to the base.
Pardon?
The plastic legs, them things we get with it, do they fit into
The plastic base bits here, the plastic legs, they came with the bus, but under them plastic bits, are 4 hardwood blocks that's been screwed in from the underneath at the exact point where you want these black blocks to stand the bus on. And David's thought about everything. He's thought about how we're going to display it. He's thought about the length, the width, and what I was saying earlier about flight boxes, the flight boxes that I'm hoping to get, these bases will just sit in the box, and there'll be some smooth, fine foam each side of the buses, which will just cushion the buses side by side. And what we intend to do is there'll be a dividing wall in the flight boxes, and obviously, so if they do rock about, they'll just rock onto a cushion of foam rather than anything else. And these bases. Pardon?
Do you know what he charges for these bases?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah,
But what I would say that you do is David Buckingham is on the ROUTEMASTER group. He's on our ROUTEMASTER group, and there is the ROUTEMASTER group in the description of this video tonight. And I suggest you get in touch with David Buckingham and you private message him about a base if you want one. They are as I say, made to measure. He is an absolute skilled craftsman in what he's done in wood. It's lovely, lovely wooden base. And I've just given, as I say, I've just given it a coat of beeswax just to protect it and give it a nice shine. He suggests actually that you get a 6-inch mirror and mirror it all the way along, so you can actually tilt the mirror slightly and you can see the underneath of the bus. And wow, will that be brilliant? I mean, we spent all this money on this beautiful bus, and we're not going to be able to see the underneath. But on this base, with a mirror tile, we're going to be able to see underneath there. So, what do you reckon to that, guys?
I think I'll be getting in touch with them.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't resist them. I couldn't resist them, really. I couldn't. And you know, David especially makes them on order, you know, so obviously you have to wait for them. He did tell me that he has got a couple left that is, you know, looking for homes for. If I was going to showcase them tonight. So I said, well, you know, obviously I will do, and I'll tell everybody where to get them from. They've been on Penny's channel before today, showcased on there. I know Penny's got one, I know Horlicks has got one, and a few other members have got them on the ROUTEMASTER group, but I thought I'd showcase it tonight on my channel and show you how beautiful they actually look. When we show our models in public, they're going to be on these bases, and when we show them in the house, they're also going to be on these bases because they just look so nice. They really do. So this bus, of course, is Christine's, and it's based on the 1979 George Shillibeer livery that was done to commemorate George Shillibeer's first London service, which was 150 years old in 1979. So they, to commemorate that, they painted 12 ROUTEMASTERs in London and one Daimler Fleet line, and they painted them in the George Shillibeer livery with the red around the windows and the sun yellow and the middle coach green, and they lined them all out, and quite spectacularly they tried to emanate the livery of George Shillibeer's horse and cart, or should I say horse bus, that he did his first London service in. And that was bedecked out with what he called rose roundels. And this model here and the real bus was bedecked out with the rose roundels, and they had one each side. They had a rose roundel there and a rose roundel just before the rear destination blind on this side, and then exactly the same panels at the other side. And if you don't know what a rose roundel is, I actually have a badge here which I'm going to try and show to you to give you an idea of a rose roundel decal. Hopefully it'll come into focus. Can you see that all right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is another rare item, is this badge. I've done again to commemorate 150 years of service buses in London with the George Shillibeer rose roundel and the omnibus decal, which was on the sides of the ROUTEMASTERs and on the sides of George Shillibeer's horse buses. Okay, and a lot of people don't know what a George Shillibeer ROUTEMASTER is. Well, there's a model of a George Shilibia ROUTEMASTER, and if I turn it in the right direction, you might be able to get Christine's bus in the background and this model in the foreground.
Is that done by EFE or Corgi?
This is a Corgi. It's an original omnibus, I believe. Yeah, it's Corgi original omnibus. It's 176 scale, is that one?
That's a size I usually collect. I think I'll look for one of them.
176 scale, George Shilibia. And can you see the resemblance? Hopefully you can in each bus. Hopefully you can see, beginning to see a resemblance in each bus, if we put it like that. So quite a few people, and hopefully you can see the rose roundel on this one as well.
Yeah.
If I bring that nearer to the camera, is it going to come into focus? Maybe not.
You putting that one on the button, Dave?
Maybe not. So that's obviously what Christine's bus is going to look like. And we'll have a look at the other side. Obviously on Christine's bus, we've already got the decals to go on, including the rose roundels.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have front adverts, I don't think. I think we're going to have side adverts as per the Hachette model. And I think that's Thai food tea and cream crackers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Jacob's crackers.
Jacob's crackers, that's right. Yeah, that's correct. So, Max Mods, are you watching Max Mods? I've got a big thank you to say to you, and this is why. There we are. Here's what we was on about the other day, which was the Tamiya colour acrylic paint, the clear yellow X24, if it'll pick it up. I think it might. There we are. X24, the clear yellow. And the reason why we've got that is that we did, come on camera, come back into focus. It's not coming into focus, is it? Why isn't it coming into focus? Don't know. Let's come out there.
Mine does it sometimes as well.
Let's
Look, right there. 20 focus.
that's better, isn't it? Yeah, the reason why we're doing that with this Tamiya colour, it's like a colour wash, is that we did Fleetwood J's brilliant modification on the side light here. And as you know, Hachette didn't have this side light working on the near side. So we put an LED in there with the split panel and everything. And my fault, I didn't check the LEDs before I did the modification for Christine and myself, is that the LEDs that we put in are actually bright white. And the LEDs that are in the headlights and the side light and the spotlight and the interior lights, they're all creamy coloured. They're all this sort of coloured, yellowy coloured. And obviously that's a vintage light, and this just doesn't go with it. So I'm going to try and undo a few screws in there and see if I can just peel it back a little bit to get my brush behind to colour the lens from behind. If I can't, I'll have to colour the lens from in front here. So, but it's a bit too late now to be taking off obviously all the decking and everything to get to the light as we normally would. But we've got some of the paint to try, so we'll give it a whirl.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Max Mods. Also, while we're on, Dave Mill, thank you ever so much, because I've received this, and obviously you're still watching, are you, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah. And obviously this is one of a couple that we wanted, and I've put it all together. And the idea is that when we have these buses on display, they're obviously going to be with notices on, do not touch, blah, blah, blah. And I like to give the public something to hold, something to look at, something that they can touch, something that they can get a hold of and look and say, oh, well, that's heavy, isn't it? You know, and that sort of thing. So,
bus.
yeah, rather than getting their sticky fingers on our buses. And you know, a lot of people ask questions, obviously, how heavy is it, you know, what was it like to build, blah blah blah. So we can, what I want to do is give them certain things to look at, and this is one of the certain things we wanted to give them to look at. So out on the display table there'll be our buses, and then there'll be certain items like this that we can say, oh, actually, here, you know, have a look at that. And say, wow, that's, you know, it's got some detail to it, and the tread and everything, and, you know, even the AEC badge, and, you know, the ring and everything, and the wheel looks absolutely real. And, you know, there's a lot of people that would get a lot of interest from physically holding and looking at parts like that. So thanks ever so much for that, Dave. It's very much appreciated. And I think there's another one coming from somewhere as well. Also, we was asked this week, what red was it I was using, and what red was it that was touching up on the standard London Transport RM bus. So here we are. It's the Humbrol Enamel Gloss number 19. If it comes into focus. So Humbrol Enamel Gloss number 19 is the red that I'm using. It's the red that's the standard London Transport model. Then this week, I should have said within the last week, I've received an also a lovely parcel, and it's in the shape of this one. And I just mentioned that we was going to put in adverts on our bus, and we had a message stating, well, would you like some adverts? And so I said, oh yes, please. And so we received this super package full of adverts and stickers and decals and newspapers even, and comics, and the adverts. I don't know whether you can see that one. Look, if the camera will pick it up, the Roundtrees chocolates, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots of adverts in here that are going to come in very, very helpful and useful for our buses. Christina's only put the little ones in the ceiling on, I think, the upper and lower deck, and she was actually looking for some poster ones, and this package is absolutely ideal. She was actually looking for some papers and comics as well, and I don't know whether you can pick up in there. Can you see all right there? There is a Joe 90 comic. It might be too bright, mate. That. Let's see what it does now. Is that all right? So that's a Joe 90 comic that's in there. Yeah. This package actually was sent to me free gratis by Alison Ashby. So Alison Ashby in the ROUTEMASTER group, thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much indeed. And I do know at the moment, Pardon? Pardon, Dave? I think you've gone off there, Dave. Can't hear you. So Alison Ashby, yeah, Alison's actually poorly at the moment. So we send our best wishes to you, Alison, for a quick recovery. Let's hope you get better soon. I know your husband's trying to help you through it and everything, and we're sending our love to you anyway. And both you and your husband, thank you ever so much for sending these. It's very much appreciated. And one last thing we've got this week. A lot of people are asking me what's my bus I'm doing. Well, I'm actually doing the East Yorkshire ROUTEMASTER in the East Yorkshire livery. And here's an East Yorkshire livery model. And that's the EFE model in 1/76 scale. And my bus will look exactly like that one. So obviously that's what we're doing in the, and it'll have the gold East Yorkshire decals on, and somebody's making me a lovely blind to go with it, and hopefully he's going to sort out the rear over the platform blind and the very rear blind as well. So we was just having a conversation off stream actually about the rear wheel caps, and I'm not going to put them on my bus, and Christine's not going to put them on her bus, and that's simply because by the time these buses were in private ownership through another company, they didn't have the wheel caps on, and by the time Christine's bus was painted in 1979, it didn't have its rear wheel caps on, so we're not going to put them on. So we think it'll look better actually without them on.
Dave?
Yes.
I wonder how the blind's going to be on the side and the back will be changed.
I think the blinds are going to be fixed on the side and back. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I think. Also this week, I bought myself something off eBay, something I haven't seen in a long, long time. And that is an East Yorkshire ROUTEMASTER badge. Can you see that all right? I don't know whether it's picking it up there.
It's okay.
An East Yorkshire ROUTEMASTER badge. So, and I think it was about £1.99. I haven't seen one in a long, long time, and they're very, very rare. So I thought, well, I'll have one.
Yeah.
So
the blinds on the back and the side then won't change, will they?
the blinds on the back and the side, I don't think they will change, no.
Okay, that's one thing. I
think when you look put it together, there isn't the room to put another.
Yeah.
No, when you look at the back, and you've got pretty much all the back detail there now, haven't you? With certainly what I've just shown you on there, there isn't the room, physical room, to put a twizzly whirly blind, certainly over the back platform. There may be room on the rear,
yeah,
but certainly not on the back platform. I wonder if they could devise something that you could put cards in, to change the destination. I'm not sure, or they might just have it a fixed destination, a bit similar to what they have it a fixed destination underneath the cab.
Yeah, well, they couldn't connect them together as one. Then when you change them at the front.
Yeah. Well, they could do, couldn't they? They could do. So
yeah. See what happens in it.
Yeah, see what happens. Okay, what we've got here then, Adrian? We've got the Beatnik man.
Beatnik girl and
Beatnik man and Beatnik girl.
Yes, I just think, well, you had either two options. Either you had the gentleman on one side of the bus and they had the girl on the opposite side,
Oh, mine's better, I think.
or you had them both together.
I've got them both together.
Yeah.
They look better together.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
She
Yeah.
stares in his eyes. Couple of lovers on your book.
Then I get
Look, basically, if you were able to have access to it, now then you could actually reposition them, like have the girl far apart from them, and he's actually staying across the passageway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
next time you put them together. Like some people, if they have like more than one, what you could do is one row, having them separate.
Yeah, you could. In other words, they went out on the journey together and then they had an argument and then they separated.
And Dave,
Wait,
I don't get up
Could
to
have those two in one seat together, like further forward. You could have another gentleman where he's staying across and she's looking across the passageway.
Yeah.
You could, couldn't you?
Hey, Dave,
Yeah.
they don't get to mischief on the bus, that's why.
Get some more.
They want to get to mischief on the bus.
No, I don't want them getting up to mischief on the bus. No, without a shadow of a doubt, we don't. Right, let's go back to the chat a minute then. If I can remember where we was. So, right. Well, there's been lots of chat while I've been yakking on, isn't there?
What, friend?
So, I think we was somewhere here. Maybe an opportunity for all three. We'll see internally. Okay. Well, obviously that's yours and my too. Then, yeah, that'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. Yeah, because your bus, Darren's looking absolutely superb.
Yeah.
It really is. I suppose that's what I miss is, you know, building these two. It's obviously difficult to know what a red one actually looks like. You know, because obviously we're building these two and painting them, and they obviously don't look anything like the red ones. So, Roger Thompson, hi all. Hi, Roger Thompson.
Yeah, how are you? Yeah.
Paint could creep under the masking tape when you hand brush. Yes, that is a fact also, P40F20. That is a problem too. I've had that on several parts and I've had to go back and start again. So the best option I've come up with so far is to do it freehand, and I'm getting some reasonable results, I think.
Whoops.
Reasonable results.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy with it, and Christine is happy with it. So, P40F20 says your paintwork looks great, Dave. Thank you ever so much for that. I'm chuffed at that. Thank you. And David Bassett. Hi, David Bassett. That looks amazing, Dave and Chris. Thank you ever so much for that. And David Bassett says those bases are amazing. He has a few left. David worked at Pinewood Studios in many films, including 007 James Bond films. Wow. So he was a carpenter working on James Bond films, was he? Excellent. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So David Bassett says David Buckingham has a few of those wonderful bases left. Yeah. Oh, well, that's great. Well, I've said to everybody, if they private message David Buckingham, private message him on the ROUTEMASTER group. There is a link to the ROUTEMASTER group in this description, and there's a link to also our new group in the description too. Please go and have a look at that. The miniature buses and coaches, 112 scale and larger. So there's a link to that in the chat. In the description, and you get to the description by the little upside down triangle. that's on the bottom right-hand corner. So, hi Fleetwood J, hi everyone. I think we've got a thank you to do to Fleetwood J as well, and that's a thank you for our super glue. Me and Adrian have ended up with some lovely super glue, and I can tell you now, Fleetwood J, it works a treat. It really does work a treat. It's superb. Thank you ever so much. And where are we now? We're Dawn Broadbent. I really like that. It's nice. Tell Chris it's lovely. I will do. Thank you. I think she's actually watching, Dawn, so I will tell you that you like it. And I think if you look behind me, you'll be able to see man. I'll just bob down a minute and go on to full screen, and I'll bob down, and you can see man behind me down there, look, on the shelf there. So man's a little bit further behind than Christine's, but I'm actually going to catch her up.
Yeah.
I am. So let's go back there. Okay. Worked on many sets of Pinewood Studios, including several 007 James Bond films. Wow. Have we been on that before? Yeah. One of his bases actually met him to get it. Lovely gentleman. He is a lovely gentleman, without a shadow of a doubt, David. Yes. David Buckingham is a lovely gentleman. He, for what he's doing for people with these bases, is amazing. He's actually building the bus himself, and he obviously looked at it and said, well, if we're spending all this amount of money on a model, then we need to showcase this model absolutely superbly if we can. And so obviously he designed this base. It's his patent, really. He designed it, and he said, well, you know, you might as well have something that, you know, really does showcase the model. After all, you're spending all this money on it. It's a wonderful base. Glad I got one. Oh, you've got one too, P40F20. Brilliant. Smashing. Dawn Broadbent says, looking forward to seeing it when it's finished, Dave. Yeah. A lot of people say that they're wishing time would go quicker so that they would see them both finished. The trouble is, Dawn, is the fact that me and Christine are a little bit behind everybody else that's building the model. The model is up to issue 103. It's 130 issues all in, but this one is only up to this one of Christine's is only up to issue 94, I believe. No, 95. So there's a long way to go yet. Roger Thompson. Hi, Fleetwood, said Roger Thompson. And where's my chat gone? Oh, we've missed one. There we are. Don't forget to enter my competition on the ROUTEMASTER group. Yes, I was coming to that, Fleetwood J. For those of you who are members of the ROUTEMASTER group, and there is a link in my description, as I've said, Fleetwood J is running a competition. He's just recently got to 100 subscribers on YouTube, and he's running a competition on there. And it's just a simple competition. All you've got to do is really put your name in the hat by telling everybody where would you set the destination on your ROUTEMASTER, if it was a real one or a model. So just tell him where you would set the destination.
Where
It's
would
a
it go?
simple answer. And then he will put your name in the hat, and along with everybody else's name in the hat. And then it will give everybody a number, and then he will then generate a number via electrical device, and that electrical device will be random. That it'll pick a random number from let's say 1 to 100, and if you're say number 50, and your random number has been picked out as number 50, you will win a prize of a Chinese Lego set.
Yeah.
What's this one? Your buses are amazing. I used the clear yellow on the outside of the light, and it worked a treat. Oh, thanks for that, Thomas. I have wondered. I will do it. In fact, I have plans on doing it rather sooner than later, because obviously I want to test them out. And we've got a guest on the show.
Say hello.
Hey. Hello. Do you want a biscuit?
Say hello.
Do you want to go out? Do you want a biscuit? He's looking. Do you want a biscuit? Do you want a walkies? There's some pussies, some pussycats. Yeah. Would you rather have a bone? Do you want a bonies?
On a board. I want a board.
Oh, do you want a biscuit? Do you want a treat? Lovely dog. I'm cuddling man at the moment. He's down here on the floor. I'm cuddling him.
It's where she was, so she wanted to jump up on me knee.
Yeah, he's as daft as a brush as this one. He really is. So I love daft dogs.
Can you see yourself? Yeah, can you see yourself?
Can you see yourself in there?
Thought you'd have balked at yourself.
Or probably starts growling.
Yeah.
What a lovely dog. What a lovely dog.
But I do know she wants me back up. She said, hey, I was on telly, I want to go back on.
Roger Thompson, I need to get wheels off the ground on man, as I do worry about the front wheels, as they do wobble from side to side and might look at a base. Yeah, well, I can wholeheartedly agree with that comment, and that is because up until us getting this base, we've kept our buses on their wheels, and because they've been in a box. And now Christine's bus is at this stage, it's actually outgrown the box. So we're going to be putting them on a shelf, because we have some really big shelves, really strong. And we're going to be covering them in like a towel material, so that obviously they don't get dusty or anything. And when we have some work done in the house, they will be moved away from any workings in the house, and they'll be put in an even bigger box that we have as a temporary measure, so that we don't get them scratched or anything. So, but yes, please look at...
I've got mine up on the plastic things, but if you move my computer table, I'm keep scared in case I've been dropped because they're dead weak. The bus wobbles easy.
Yeah, well, on David Buckingham's base, the plastic bits slot over some hardwood nodules, shall we say. They slot over some hardwood bits of wood that have been screwed in from the other side. So once you've slotted them over nice and tight right down to the board, the bus, in actual fact, once you've got it sat on it, it does not move. It's very stable indeed. So I was really impressed really impressed. And they're about half an inch off the floor, and so obviously you're not putting pressure on the suspension or the wheels or any of the fragile parts that's under the chassis there. But also it gives you the opportunity to put a mirror underneath there so you can show off what's underneath the bus.
It's a pity they didn't give us something better to hold the bus up off the wheels while you're working on it, especially once the top deck goes on, because it means you're going to be moving on the bus a lot.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
You know, a good jig for it to sit on would have been ideal.
Yeah, exactly. It would be.
Yes.
Even when you look at the Bismarck, they're giving these things for it to stand on as you're building it along.
Yeah.
You think they would? I find a good plastic box to stand it on in between the wheels when I'm working on it. So if you're going to put pressure on the top, it's not going to go through the wheels.
Well, I have, just going to steal the screen a minute, but I have these, and it's foam, but it's hard foam, and it's actually blue foam, and it's made for insulation in freezers, and they call it extruded foam. And I've just got foam blocks. I've got lots and lots and lots of it, and I just cut it to size what I need. It's very light, and you stand the bus on it, so you can put them side by side, wider, narrower. You can lay the bus down onto them. You can lift it up onto them, and then you can work off these bits because it's nice and solid. I mean, you can see I'm gripping it there, and I'm not making any indentation in it really, and I'm really giving it some grip. So obviously it's strong, but it's light, and it stops it from getting scratched or anything. And we've got loads of that, absolutely loads of that. And we've been using that now ever since we started the build. And that's what I would use. And even when I was doing some model aeroplanes, I used to cut a V out of it in them and then sit the model aeroplane in it so that it wouldn't move. And it's really good stuff, is that blue foam. I can heartily recommend it. I really can. So Roger Thompson, pardon?
Can you buy that blue foam from a DIY place?
Not really. If you looked on eBay, you could probably find it on there or other places like that. Blue extruded foam, I think you call it. It comes in various sizes for making aeroplane wings and hobby craft places, and you can cut it and sand it and shape it. So a lot of model railway enthusiasts use it, and it's very light as well. It's light as a feather, but it's good and solid, you see.
Yeah.
So you can screw it and you can glue it. So Roger Thompson says, "Love your dog, Dave."
Thanks, Roger.
So you've got a fan there with the dog, and then we've got Alex MacDonald. Hi all. So hi Alex MacDonald, thanks for joining us, and thanks for everybody else for joining us tonight on the chat. And is there anything else that we need to talk about? Has anybody else got anything else?
No, not really. I don't know.
No, not at the moment.
So how's your Jaguar build coming along, Chris?
Yeah, good. It's a bit slow, but it's good.
What issue are you up to at the moment?
20.
Issue 20?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So another 80 to go.
So how long has that got to go in total?
It's 35 months, so it's a couple of years.
No, how many issues?
800. I mean, sorry, 100.
100 issues.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's the telephone. I think my assistant will get that. Hopefully my secretary will get that.
How are you getting on with them wheels, Chris?
I'm struggling with them, but I get help, so it's all right.
Okay. Well, they really are difficult, aren't they?
Nightmare.
They are a nightmare to do, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, they are a nightmare. So, okay, Adrian, how are you getting on with the Terminator?
That's coming on fine.
That's issue number...
Just done issue 50 with issue 49.
So, how many is in that one then?
The total amount of issues is 120 issues. So I'm back, well, in 2 weeks' time, I'm just over a year, and we got at least about a year and a bit.
Yeah,
to go.
Okay. Okay, and just
yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Sorry about that. Had to take the contents of that telephone call, and that was another flood alert. So
yeah. So what's it like down there weather-wise?
Weather-wise down here, it's as you say, blowing a holy.
I don't think it's been as bad up here as what they've been saying for the rest of the country.
Well, it's actually calmed down now, but the rain here was so bad you couldn't see to the end of our garden.
Wasn't that bad. I went out for the 10 to 10 bus this morning. I got wet then.
Yeah.
And when I was on the way home about half 2, 3 o'clock, it was chucking it down the rain. Then on the bus, when I was on the bus on the way home, I didn't think it was as bad as what they were saying. That's how it does up here. As I say, don't know how it went around the rest of the country, but northeast of England, well, Newcastle wasn't really hit, high winds, but
well, unfortunately, down here was pretty bad. There's been a lot of trees down, and the thing that's happened down here more than anything is the fact that it's high at the river levels at the wrong time.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was coming along, because it was high tide on the Tyne, and that was higher when it usually is.
Yeah.
My bus coming home follows the river route along, so.
Yeah, we have several rivers and canals around here, and they're all very dependent on the weather. You've only got to have one heavy rainstorm, and that's it. It's quite flooded, and if that coincides with a tide, then we get warnings like we've just had. Telephone warnings, email warnings, and text message warnings, all pretty much at the same time.
Yeah, I like to do sea fishing, and we can wet tidal right way up to near Newburn. But when it's been raining like this, too much fresh water comes in, and it just knocks the fishing up.
Yeah, no good for the fishing. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, I understand. So a normal tide's better, isn't it? Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
So I see the rain will be coming down the hills and rushing down the river, and it stops the fish coming further up the Tyne, what they usually do.
Yeah.
Kills the fishing a little bit up here.
I used to go fishing on the River Humber when I was a kid, and the only thing that I ever caught was eels.
We get a lot of flounders this fall. A few little codling, if you want the bigger stuff, you've got to go further down towards the coast.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, I'm about 10 miles inland.
Yeah.
And as I say, we still get flounders and the odd codling.
Yeah.
Eels in the spring. Yeah,
That's another one.
Oh,
another call coming in.
Yeah. We often get them in pairs. So yeah, we often get them in. It'll be the same one, possibly, unless they've hired it. And if they've hired it, Chris will come and tell me in a minute. So
you get calls for flood warnings, do you?
yeah.
Wait for the tide to come up to me. I'm in the valley, on the top of the bank.
Yeah, well, we've had, that makes it 4 flood warnings today, and 2 of them have been for a separate river to this one. There's a river to the north of us, there's a river to the east of us, and there's a river to the south of us. There's only the west that doesn't have a river, apart from a dike. So the river to the north of us would not be a problem. The river to the east of us, it's not come over in, well, not in 30 years. The river to the south of us has come over in 2013. So there is a possibility, but then again, you know, we've just got to keep our fingers crossed. I've looked at the tides earlier. I looked at all the tides and the times and everything. And I thought, well, if we do even get a tide warning tonight, the tide should be going down about now, actually. So in actual fact, we probably wouldn't get flooded because it's all going down.
Yeah, so 6 hours before you get a high tide again.
Yeah, that's it. So, and hopefully within that 6 hours, river levels will have dropped. So I look at it and study it quite closely, and that's why I'm not really worried at the moment. But yeah, it's the time of year for that sort of thing. And that's 4 warnings we've had today.
So
that's a little bit unusual, but it's not highly unusual. So let's go back to the chat. Dave, on the plastic parts that you have problems with, paint is not sticking to. Yes, it is the plastic parts, and the paint is sticking, but it's like pooling, if that's the word. Or if it's not pooling in certain places, it's beginning to break up in certain places. It's as though there's a product on the plastic part that doesn't agree with my type of paint. So it has to have at least 3 coats, but with a rubbing down in between. And I've even tried wiping it off with white spirit to try and kill anything that's on there, so I can put some paint on. But it's a case of trial and error. There's only 1 plastic part, I think it was, that I've actually painted successfully without it being a problem so far, and so they are few and far between. But testing my patience, I'll stick with it. I'll carry on with it. I will not give up. Definitely not. Have I tried degreasing them before the paint, because any grease from fingerprints or anything, contaminants will affect the finish? Yes, I have. Yeah, I've just explained that I've done. I've actually washed the parts and I've dried the parts and I've tried white spirit and several other products on the paint to try and degrease them and try and make the paint stick to them better, and it's not worked so far. So it must be the type of paint that they're using or the type of plastic. Next one. Oh, why won't it show David Bassett? Come on. That's it. What colour paint do you use on the seat backs on the ROUTEMASTer? I'm thinking of removing all them screws. Right, I haven't done the seat backs mod. I've left mine with all screws in, and so has Christine. Have you done the seat back mod, Dave, Adrian?
No.
No. I think what you'll have to do is have a word with Fleetwood J. He would be able to tell you on the ROUTEMASTer group, David Bassett. He will be able to tell you what he used, but it might be worthwhile putting on there what has other people used, so you can get some experience of what other people have used for their seat backs on the ROUTEMASTer group, and I think it'll be a good topic.
Yeah.
And what did you use to fill the screw holes with? And again, you'll have to ask on the ROUTEMASTer group. There's several people that have used several methods to do that. They've used plastic filler, they've used car body filler, certain products like that they've used. So if you ask on the ROUTEMASTer group, I'm sure they'll be glad to tell you. And Alex McDonald, what's everyone's thoughts on the Ford GT from Model Space? Yeah, what is everybody's thoughts on that?
Looks nice. Yeah.
Not bad.
Nice car.
Nice car. And you, Adrian?
I haven't really looked at it. I'm not going to probably not do it.
Yeah.
Is that the blue and orange one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a nice car. I think it's a nice car. It's not my cup of tea, but it's a nice car.
In the cars, nice one to build.
Yeah. And I suppose it's metal based again, is it? Die-cast metal?
Yeah, I think so. It's got to be.
Yeah, quite a lot of weight to it then. There's a lot of part works out at the moment, isn't there?
The Panini that's brought out the F40.
Is it Panini?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
no. Panini's brought out the Ferrari F40.
Oh yeah, they have. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I knew there was a company that done stickers, football stickers and stuff like that. I didn't know they had went into what we're building.
Yeah. Okay.
They probably do one every few years, probably.
Yeah. I would have thought.
They might do one
So I wonder what they're called.
and do another one.
So I wonder what they're called. Like, if they're just like a part-time what build, I wonder what quality's like.
Excuse me a minute. I'm just trying to load my pad up to see what else is going off in a minute. Yes.
I'll be back in 2 minutes now. Just grab a drink. I am.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm a bit hoarse tonight.
Yeah, no, I see in a sec now.
I'm not donkey leg. I'm a bit hoarse. So right. Other subjects that we could get onto, other part works. Starting next week, of course, is the Spitfire.
And does anybody know if that's going to come out at news agents or is it a subscription only?
That is the point, isn't it? Is it going to come out on news agents? Is it going to be subscription? I had heard that it was going to be out at the news agents, but I haven't seen anything.
I've seen anything yet.
No, no. I mean, apart from them test series before, I haven't seen anybody stream anything, and I haven't heard anything. So I wonder if anybody knows anything out there about the Spitfire. It will be an absolute brilliant thing to build. Me and Christine's not going to be building it because we've got these buses to do, and that's our main love and our main hobby. But I would love to watch it being built.
I'm thinking about it, but I've got to look at my funds first.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. That's the thing, isn't it? You've got to look at your funds and look at what you can afford and be sensible about things. And you know, there's so many part works out there now, isn't there? So many. And obviously they with them all being whatever they are per week or per month, it's a big lump to be taken out of the one's pocket if it's just another one or another one.
And plus, it's where would I be to display it?
Yeah, what's the wingspan? About 3 feet.
I just, as I say, I just live in a flat, and I've got a family. My wife and his son live in the flat, so
yeah. About 3 feet on the wingspan, something like that. Welder Wayne showed a thing on the Spitfire, didn't he? How was it in the chat? I think it was here somewhere. I see Arshett are about to launch a full run of the Spitfire, including the interactive base. Yeah, looks absolutely superb.
Yeah.
I really, really wish that we could do it. And I really wish Arshett would have left it until the ROUTEMASTER was finished, until they actually brought that out.
That would have suited me even better. I would have definitely probably went for it then.
Yeah, well, you know, I really wish they would have waited until the end of the ROUTEMASTER, because obviously that's not going to be finished until August-ish, and
as far as I know,
27 weeks or so, and you know, not everybody can afford another one, so you know they would like another one to run on maybe, but yeah, so. We all ought to get together and say to Arshett, look, you know, a lot of us would build this Spitfire if you did it, or if you could run it after the ROUTEMASTER, you know, because obviously we can't all afford to do that, you know, all at the same time. So along with everything else that's coming out for everybody.
Yeah.
So, and
one.
If we could all get together, by popular demand, do something like that would make more sense, wouldn't it? Yeah. Alex McDonald, P40F20, I think it looks good. I may do one. The Spitfire is due out this week, I believe. Yes. This week coming, it's due out. Is it out by the news agents, Alex McDonald, or by subscription?
Both, I reckon.
Is it both?
I think so.
David Bassett was on the Welder Wayne channel, and he was going to build the Spitfire. Yeah, well, that's probably where I'll be watching it if anything.
I know you can subscribe to it now on the Arshett website when it comes.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, at the moment, it's not on there. You'll find.
Oh, I was so sorry.
Yes, Arshett still got the website running properly.
I was going to say Arshett a moving warehouse, aren't they?
Still.
They've got nothing on, yeah. Yeah, should have waited.
Some items, there are 9 different products on there.
Yeah.
At the moment, say, we're moving warehouse.
Yeah.
If they were going to do like 12 products, I would say, right, okay, do one a month sort of thing.
It seems funny them, the moving warehouse and all that, and they're bringing a Spitfire out in the middle of the move.
Yeah. And then people at the news agents are still getting their issues. So how's that working with the warehouse?
Yeah.
So just trying to like.
I think they'd get the warehouse sorted before they released a new project.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what.
And
you
that's
thought
it.
would be.
They sort of had, right, okay, let's use the new warehouse during this project. They've set that one up ready. Of course, now, or as they were doing it, they had the other ones, and of course now the timeline, you find we might not end up receiving February's issues through the post. We'll get it in March. Are we going to end up receiving 2 lots of issues in March?
Yeah, that's going
Yeah.
to.
If they're only going to receive one set, they're going to actually put us like 4 weeks way delayed.
Yeah, that's a fact, isn't it? Yeah, that's a fact.
For the start, when they sent us out the issues in December, it's the next dispatch date is actually 5 weeks later.
Yeah. So a few people are saying that they're actually getting the back issues. It's slow coming through, but they're actually getting them, aren't they?
Yeah.
Only a few.
They rang from basically booked them, and it's probably it's an invoice when someone's actually allocated, probably in the warehouse. Probably right. Okay, yes, we've got those. We can do them.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So Martin McFly says, should have waited. Silly, really. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, and so do we all, really. That perhaps some of us would have done the Spitfire if they'd have waited, or if they'll still do it after the ROUTEMASTER build is finished. We've not all got bags of money, so perhaps we should get a petition up and send it off to our shed and see what
after the ROUTEMASTer.
Yeah.
For another bus or something.
Yeah. Unless they do, that is a possibility.
Might bring out the London LT or.
Yeah. Well, they might do. The RT, they might do. Let's hope they do, Dave, for our sakes. So, David Bassett, there's not much Wayne isn't doing,
Yeah. Wilderwin does a lot of builds.
He does.
He must have plenty of money.
Love his channel, but don't know how he does it. No, we all don't know how he does it, do we?
No.
We dare ask. So Martin McFly, they made a mistake on my subscription. They forgot to send 91, 92, 93, 94, but I got 95, 96, 97, 98. I just noticed today, oh my goodness me, they were doing this.
Yeah.
They were doing this a long time ago, wasn't they? Was our share. There was sending like double issues to people, wasn't they?
Yeah.
Or say they've actually sent you out the next 40, you wish you'd actually say a covering note. Sorry, the other ones we haven't been able to sort out the moat. Here's something to get on with.
Yeah. But I said,
if they could complete the set of 4, they sent out, if they could do the next set of 4, they sent those out. You wish you'd actually said, we have jumped some issues. Here's 4 issues you've paid for. We're going to charge you for. The previous 4 issues you not received, hopefully be in the next dispatch group.
I think so too. I agree with that. I agree.
I'll say it, Marty, that's the best thing.
But I mean, that's it's 4 issues, isn't it? It's 4 issues that.
And so, question those 4 issues, can you do something with them?
That's the point. Yeah, could you do something with them? Could you, if you don't get them next time around, could you sell them on, or
No, without receiving it. Well, issue 91, 92, 93, 94. He can't. It depends what parts it is of the bus. Can you continue building
Perhaps
Now,
we
if
can.
you get the next 4 on, problem is you're going to have to put them one side and wait to receive the
That's
issue.
right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and it's put in as other people as well, put them in a predicament of 4 issues, isn't it? So that you can't do nothing with until you've physically done the other 4 that you wanted in the first place. Yeah, I see exactly where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
So yes, he's building so many things, including the Agora Mustang, and also the Ecto one as well, the Terminator,
Yeah.
the Star Wars X-wing, and the Bismarck. Yeah, he is, and he wishes he was doing the ROUTEMASTER too. Does Welder Wayne?
Yeah.
And
Should have done it.
yeah, he should have done it. Harshak Terminator March delivery. Should contain all issues due to subscriber to get them back up to date. Let's hope so that everybody gets back up to date in March. Although, we've only just got into February, really, haven't we?
Yeah, and 9th, I think it is now.
Question is, are they going to send out 4 issues and charge us 4 issues in March, or are they going to send us 8 issues?
That's the question, isn't it? That's the burning question.
You wish to receive an email, right? Go to this page, right? Do you want to charge us for 4 issues in February?
Yeah.
And in March, we send you out 8 issues. You've already paid for 4, and we'll charge you for the next 4.
Yeah, that's it.
For line you on budget wise.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or are they going, right, okay, in March, right, just send out no 4 issues?
Yeah.
Basically, it's going
rather
make a lot of people not very happy.
Yeah. Well, as Martin McFly says, agree, you have to ring them up and then dreading it. Yeah, I don't know whether it's the language barrier or the fact that
they changed phone system, so it's UK now. They can't. Yeah. It's not a phone. People know.
Oh, that's good. That's excellent. Because there was a language barrier, wasn't there, where they couldn't quite understand our English, especially when you rang them to South Africa, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly that. It's a lot of
They will charge us for 4 issues a March, plus every issue you have already paid for and not had shipped. Yeah. That's another problem. That is another problem, isn't it? I'm just going to have a cough. That's better.
That's nice.
Dave, you put type in the chat for Harshak now. Telephone number for any part work is 0345.
So are you going to put this in the chat, or do you want me to put it in?
Can you put it in, please?
0345
155
155
9277.
9277.
And that's a general customer service number for any part work.
That's the wrong number, that is.
0345 155 9277. You say it's the wrong number, Chris.
It's always rung me this number before. Hang on, I'm just getting screen.
Is that the old one though, Chris?
What's your one then, Chris? Read out your one then to me.
0345 193 5012. That's the one that give me the Wick one, eh?
No, because it depends. Right. The number I gave you covers any part work.
Oh yeah, so this one must cover this ROUTEMASTer then.
Yeah. If you ring them up, it's not just customer will actually just deal with ROUTEMASTer or Terminator. It's just
Oh,
just
number. Oh yeah.
say right, ROUTEMASTer or right, customer number is blah blah blah. Your name, then your postcode saying right, ROUTEMASTer.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. I confused me then.
It's a general customer number one.
Oh yeah, so this
so I put that in the chat.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you guys have got any problems with harsher issues, there should be an English-speaking person at the end of the line. You'll have to tell them what it is, whether it's the ROUTEMASTer, the Terminator, or whether you want to subscribe to the Spitfire or anything else that they do. So there we go. Oh, right. Okay. So thanks, Adrian, very much. Says Martin McFly, and
yeah, no, yeah.
There's the number that Adrian's just given us.
That's his mobile, guys. No, I'm joking.
Just what?
That's Adrian's mobile number, that is. I'm joking. It is low. I just teasing.
I bet you are too.
Yeah, you know me too well.
Right.
If they try and ring now, my phone won't go off. If they did.
No, man won't neither. My secretary would answer, man. Right. So, has anybody anything else to ask me regarding what's happened tonight, or do they want to see anything else, or have you got any more questions, or shall we go through everybody's YouTube channel, what we're doing this week?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so obviously it's Sunday the 9th today, so Monday tomorrow the 10th. We've got Chris Camplin, have we?
Yeah, hopefully, but it's not. We're not certain yet. But we did suggest doing a chat show with him if he hasn't got no issues left.
Okay, Chris Camplin.
Yeah.
And his channel, you'll find it in the ROUTEMASTER show, in the schedule that Christine's made, with everybody's YouTube channel on there. That's a member of the group. So, which is nice and handy because obviously we're doing a schedule now per week where we can pick a day that somebody's doing something and we can write it down and we can obviously state who's doing what during the week.
Yeah.
On Christine's schedule, and that's in the ROUTEMASTER group, and that's down below in the description. So that's Monday. Chris Camplin probably be doing the Terminator or something on Monday night, hopefully. Tuesday, what we got Tuesday, Chris Davis?
Hopefully the Jag, hopefully.
So Tuesday we've got on Chris Davis's channel, we've got the Jaguar E-Type that he's building, hopefully, if he's got the parts, and hopefully if he's got a co-host. The co-host will either be Chris Camplin, Max Mods, Dave Mills, Adrian Langley, or somebody, won't they? So somebody hopefully will come along and help you, Chris, won't they?
Not be me, I'm at work.
Of course you will be. Yeah, sorry about that, Dave. So if you don't happen to get the Jaguar, what will you be doing, Chris? Any idea?
If not, if I haven't got nothing to do, I'll probably miss this week.
Because
after the bus either because I'm waiting for a bonnet, so I can't do the bus.
Okay. So, well, obviously, if you found out, when you found out, let Christine know.
Yeah, cool.
If you're not going to be doing one, and then she can make that space vacant for somebody else, then, couldn't she?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, jolly good. Right. So Wednesday. What is Wednesday? Well,
Your top says it all.
my top says it all. Yeah. To anybody who hasn't got one of these, I was building a ROUTEMASTER. I wholeheartedly, I can honestly say that they are a brilliant T-shirt. They're called ROUTEMASTER Rinsed,
Oh yeah.
and it means that it's been artified because it's been rinsed. You know, it only gets bits of the ROUTEMASTER, but it's got a nice AEC badge there.
Yeah.
And it says what it is, obviously. They wash well as well, so, and usually get them on Amazon and places like that, and eBay and what have you. So, yeah, just become a fan and get a T-shirt. And yeah, so Wednesdays is the ROUTEMASTER Day, and ROUTEMASTER Day this week is on Fleetwood J's channel, and it'll be 8 o'clock, and it'll be Fleetwood J and Adrian Langley and Chris Davis and myself, and with other guests perhaps in the chat.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing, guys, issue
104.
What issue will we be doing, Chris?
It's up to 103, aren't you?
Yeah.
No,
I'm about to do.
no, we'll be doing issue 102.
Yeah.
102.
Yeah,
So
because last week we was doing issue 101?
Yeah, I think so.
Adrian, I'm looking for guidance.
We did.
It's been a long week.
Hang on. I could just quickly look at the. I noticed Christine actually put down every issue on listing. So what issue we'll be doing next? So let me just quickly log into that one and I can have a look.
Roger Thompson says yes. Issue 102.
Yeah, that sounds like
Because issue 100 was the cab door, wasn't it?
Yes.
And issue 101 was the offside front.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, which Adrian did last week. So next week is issue 102 of Build the ROUTEMASTER. And that'll be the lower rear offside, won't it?
That'll be the lower all panels done.
And then that will be all the sides done.
Front, except for the backs.
Chris, yeah, all the sides done and the front with framework, and then weeks after that will come the back, won't it?
Yeah, I think the last issues, I reckon we're just going to get panels then. And
Yeah. Okay, so
I've got for you as well. People say in this group, though, the driver won't fit in. So how's the driver going to fit in when it's together?
You might be standing, or you might be climbing into the cab.
yeah, it might be, it might be climbing into the cab. It might be, if he's my thing is, if he's a seated driver, I think he'll be able to manipulate him in, put him on his side, put his legs in first, and manipulate him in. If the cab door slid right back, I think he'll be able to manipulate him in and sit him in the driver's seat. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And let's see who's right at the end of the day. It can't be far away now, can't the driver, can he?
Yeah, but the driver's got to come. Yeah, but the driver should be soon. We are waiting for the conductor as well, or conductors.
Yeah, we can get a conductress. We've been told in an earlier issue that we was getting a conductress. And I reckon the conductress will be stood on the rear platform.
Yeah, facing to I'm holding the rear platform handle, I reckon.
Yes, I reckon so too, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, they may well be stood at the front of the bus, like on the buses, having a chin wag and a smoke.
Yeah, and I'm calling the bus out.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
As I say, the bus might be at a turning point or something, and the driver standing out having a fag, waiting for his time.
Could be, yeah. Then we might get a bus stop or something while they're waiting at a bus stop or
An inspector. Well, how late you might be there.
Stand back, left.
Could be anything, I suppose, couldn't it? Could be absolutely anything.
It could be you, Dave.
It could be me, yes. It could be me.
Yeah, if they're doing it every 7th issue, basically, roughly, there is enough in between to do 3 more figures.
Yeah.
What's the link you just posted, Adrian?
Fine, Chris?
What's the link you just posted?
Right, that link I just posted.
Yeah.
Everyone click on it. That's the script basically everyone can look at.
Oh yeah. Cool, I'll look at that now.
And that'll be the link for Christine's YouTube channel, will it not?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've got it now.
Okay, let me go backpedal a minute.
On a boat now.
Thanks, Dave, muchly. That's okay. And Alex McDonald. Dave, I missed the show off the bus. Do you want me to do it again? Come on then, do it again. Why not? We've got 5 minutes.
Oh, go on, Dave.
We've got 5 minutes. If people on here don't mind, let's have another look, shall we?
Taxi bus away.
We'll have another look at the bus and see what we can come up with, shall we?
Yeah, go on.
The sexy bus. This is obviously Christine's bus. I'll just wait for the light to balance out a bit, if it will.
Dave, what colour the wall be then?
What colour?
Yeah.
What colour is Christine's bus?
No, the roof green. I know it's green and cream, but I just wonder about the roof panels.
The roof will be sun yellow, the same as this yellow here.
Oh, cool.
It'll be sun yellow. Will the roof?
Oh yeah, nice.
Let me just try and.
You're hoping for every metal panel, basically, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. Every metal panel. That's what I'm hoping for.
Every little helps.
Because obviously, with me having problems with the plastic, it's obviously going to be better if it was metal.
We'll find out in 104 because isn't that going to be the first piece?
Yeah, for the roof.
That roof panel will be 104. Well,
yeah, roof panel.
Well, obviously, and what I was showing off earlier, guys, was this is obviously the Chili Beer bus, and we've got a cuckoo clock going off.
Yeah, that's like you did, isn't it?
This is obviously the Chili Beer bus, and we've got the red that goes in between there and in between there. So, and as I was trying to explain earlier, the windows, I've got the other side here, look. The windows that are sliding windows, they have only the bottom bit, which is painted red, because these have the plastic inserts in there.
Yeah.
For the sliding windows. Okay, and the complete windows, these ones, they have red right the way around the outside. Okay, and there's 2 back ones there. That's the back one. This one's the front one, and the middle one's over there, and the 2 other plastic parts. I've nearly finished them. I've only just given these a coat of green, just to say that it's not red. Do you know what I mean? So that it looks better when it's not got its panels on.
Did?
Yes.
What are you going to do with the plastic ones then if they're not for the paints?
What am I going to do? What?
With the paints on the plastic panels, plastic bits.
I'm going to repaint them.
Yeah, I know that, but because they are not.
If they're metal, you'll find it's easier to paint metal than it is painting plastic.
Yeah, I know that.
It'll be difficult to paint, Chris, if it's plastic.
Yes,
but I will do it. I will find a method. I will find a way to do it.
Yeah.
That's satisfactory to both me and Chris.
So, if the panels are going to have, what happens if the panels have got the already got the names on?
Right. You see here where I've put RM2208. I think you can see that down there. Just there, where it's got a transfer RM2208. That originally had RM 58. Good God, I can't remember. It's that long ago.
It's not the ROUTEMASTER doing.
That was.
I think they've got all these transfers already, probably.
So all I did was just rub the transfer off with some spirit, which came off really easy, and then rub the panel down as normal with some very fine wet and dry. That's all I did with that.
It's just that.
And then when I painted it, I let it dry, obviously, and then when I got these transfers and I retransferred it. So I'll do that with all the London transport on the side. And the only thing that we've gone dizzy cam there. The only thing that I will struggle to do is if the Typho adverts on the sides are already on the panels, that will be a big problem. If they're transfers, in other words, if you apply them when you finish the model, then that would be the ideal scenario for me. That would be the ideal method for me to apply them once the model's finished. But somebody's the jury's out, we don't know. Somebody said that we're getting them a panel with an advert on, and we just fix that on already on with the advert, and then the coloured screws go in and hold the panels on. So if it's a blue advert, we'll put blue screws in. If it's silver, we'll put silver screws in, etc., etc.
Yeah, I think we're going to be doing that.
We don't know what is coming on them adverts yet. Hopefully we'll soon find out.
Yeah.
To do that, you're going to have some masking to do, won't you?
Well, that's going to cause me a big problem, yes. I'm going to have to do some masking or some very careful painting, yes. Yeah. Well, I want the panels sprayed anyway because I want them top quality, so I want them top quality.
The only other way, if it does do that, is you go over the whole lot and then just go out and see if you can purchase some side stickers.
Yeah, I'll be able to do that.
Hopefully they might have some other transfers, basically, you don't know. They might send us time through and come with other different ones. Then it gives us a choice for whatever we want to put on there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they might go down that route.
We don't know yet what they're gonna do. I went into this with my eyes open, and I was fully adaptable to do any modification to it, to do whatever we needed to get them in the right colours, to get them looking right, and I will overcome it one way or another. If
That's a
like,
good.
like obviously Dave there, he's a model maker, Chris. He makes little models, and he's seen little models being made.
Yeah.
This is a 1/76 scale model, Chris. And if you can get transfers made for that, then you can get transfers made for this. And obviously I've proved that because I've got the side transfers, I've got all its fleet names and everything, all its numbers and everything else. The only thing I haven't got is any adverts.
What's happening on yours then?
I do know somebody who would be able to make them adverts, but that would come at a premium cost.
Yeah.
Obviously, things like that will not come cheap. In fact, you know, the transfers, the decals that we've bought for this so far have not come cheap for both buses. So obviously, you know, but we do know people who are willing to make them.
That's all what YouTube and Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah, because I belong an awful lot, like Dave Milner does, with bus model groups and such like. And there's a lot of people that make adverts or transfers, or especially for this sort of thing. So when you're interested in this sort of thing, you know people that can do it. And it was one of the things, Chris, that made me think about, could we do it, couldn't we do it?
Yeah, there's a
A
question.
long time ago. I have an advert somewhere from Harshett that was put out into the media in 2014, I think it was, when this model first was just an idea. And that's how long I've been following it. So what's that? 6 years. 6 years.
If I had had the funds, I would have probably got another ROUTEMASTER.
Yeah.
And I would have done a what if, like what Penny was going to do. I would have had it painted in Newcastle colours.
Newcastle colours. In the yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Gates said did have a ROUTEMASTER, but it was a front loader.
Yeah.
They were green.
Yeah.
I would have done a what if Newcastle had getting one. I would have done it in there. Which would have been, I would have been like you then, having a source different, you know, Newcastle Corporation's name on the side.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But didn't have the money to build two, so I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, we actually gave up smoking, and we gave up drinking, and we gave up quite a few other silly little things, you know, that we used to buy a lot of magazines at one time that were interested in buses and engines and that sort of thing.
Well, when I started the ROUTEMASTER, I was unemployed. So
well,
now employed, so
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Have you thought about buying one that's part done?
No, I don't think I could afford the initial outlay I've got. You know, I'm employed now, but I've got to get sorted out from when I was unemployed.
Yeah. I understand.
Things paid off.
Well, we had a vast collection of engines and such like, and we sold quite a few, and we said, you know, we'll use that pot bit by bit, and as it happens, well, you know, we have struggled without a shadow of a doubt. We have struggled, and we still are going to struggle because it's obviously the added extras that's on top. You know, the paint and the transfers and you know all the bits and pieces like the base and all sorts of things, boxes to put them in, and you know, but and that this is why we've got the issues, but we are a bit behind as well, and we might not, we wanted it to last longer as well, rather than the whatever it was, 2 years or 2.5 years. We wanted it to last longer, so that we could do this over a longer period of time. And there's 2 or 3 reasons behind that, Dave, and that is, one of them is that we were, both me and Chris are getting over problems with our health. We've both been poorly in the past, and it was, to begin with, it was a thing that we could get involved with that helped us to stop thinking about other things like hospital and what have you. So obviously that helped us tremendously that way.
Really, like your wife are both involved. It's it's not usually a hobby women pick up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now my wife, I get involved with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's always been interested in buses and always been there, and thank goodness she has. She's driven them. She's cleaned them out. She's ridden on them. She's owned them. She's done an awful lot with buses, as Christine. When we had vintage buses, she was with us every weekend, going to various shows and rallies, and she was just as enthusiastic as I was, and and it was her choice that she wanted to do this Shillybee Routemaster. Out of all the colours of all the Routemasters, she could have just done the plain red London Transport Routemaster, but she chose this one, and it has special meaning to her, really, because I think I've told you before that we organised a vintage show once for vintage cars, veteran cars as well, and we had this show organised, maybe 60 or 70 vintage and veteran cars, and which wasn't an awful lot, but we had a handful of commercial vehicles go as well, and we got some military vehicles, and then this really good friend of ours, Malcolm, he actually owned this particular bus, CUV 208C RM2208. He actually owned it, and he kept it at the Dewsbury Bus Museum, and he restored it to absolutely pristine condition in the Shillybee's livery. And I asked him if he would bring it to this rally, and he did. He brought it to this show that me and Christine organised, and we was over the moon with it. We absolutely loved it. And Christine, she thought it was lovely, just the lovely livery, the colours, and obviously what it represented. It represented George Shillybee, who started the first London bus service in London in 1849, and he, with a horse-drawn bus, and he was a coach builder. Was George Shillybee? He actually built coach built horse-drawn buses, and he obviously started the first London bus service. And to commemorate that fact of 150 years, London Transport painted 12 Routemasters in the Shillybee's livery and Daimler Fleetland, and they ran them around London for a couple of years or so in the Shillybee's livery. And this particular Routemaster that was at our little village show with 70 or 80 vintage cars was actually at our show, was actually a original 1979 painted one, even though it was 1965 from new, but it was one of the original 1979 dozen ones that was painted. And it was actually owned by a good friend of ours too. And so my dad, he fell in love with the bus. And as you know the story behind my bus, how I'm enthusiastic about East Yorkshire buses, how my dad drove for the company, how he had his last ride to church on one of the vintage buses, and how emotional I get about East Yorkshire buses in their old colours. I was doing that in which I am behind me, and Christine wanted to do this one, and it's like hopefully they're going to be like one-offs. There's not going to be anything like them. Even though now I know that one of our members on the ROUTEMASTER group has said that he wants to paint a Shillybee ROUTEMASTER. I wish him all the best with it. It's not going to be easy. I can tell him that much. And it's not going to be cheap with all the decals and the paint and everything else. And you've got to have the patience of a saint to actually do something like this, and plenty of time. And you've got to obviously look at photographs if you're going to do something like this. Look at the real bus, study, look at the internet, look at as many pictures and information as you can to get it right. Because without a shadow of a doubt, there'll be lots of people out there that have got, we call them rivet counters. They'll be saying, this isn't right, and that's not right, and the other's not right. And so get it as right as what you possibly can, and spend the time doing it. And it'll pay off dividends in the end, because at the end of the day, you'll have a beautiful model that that will stun a lot of people that sees it. And that goes for just the standard red ROUTEMASTER that everybody else is doing. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, and this is my opinion, it is a beautiful big model. And I cannot understand people who are berating it like they do. There's not been anything like this on the market for many years, and there never has been anything this size and this scale.
Well, I've showed pictures to a couple of my colleagues at work of it getting built, and I think, wow, that looks fantastic. They're looking for seeing a picture of it when she's finished.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? It's I've shown lots of people it in pictures, and they are amazed by the sheer size and everything of the ROUTEMASTER. I mean, this one's behind me, and then my head's nearly touching it, and you can see, if you look behind me, you can see that it's actually 27.5 inches long by 14.5 inches high by 8 inches wide. So it's massive. And it's weighing about 12 kilograms. So it's really heavy as well, because most of the parts are die cast and heavy plastic.
We need a 1/12 scale Atkinson truck to go with it.
Yeah, or something, don't we? Something 1/12 scale. That's what we need. Yeah, something 1/12 scale. I personally want a 1/12 scale Derby coach. That's what I want.
Or a trolley bus.
Or a trolley bus. Yeah, or a trolley bus. Yeah, or an RT. Or a Leyland PD.
Arab.
We could go on, couldn't we?
Yes, plenty of them out there.
Yeah, London Cab, right?
So right, Alex McDonald says looks great. That looks great. Thanks, Alex. Glad you got to see it, and thanks for looking. And it's a pleasure anytime to show it to you guys.
Dave, what scale would you go to if you were building a London cab that would actually go with a bus?
That would have to be 1/12 scale as well, wouldn't it? To go, yeah. It's no good building something like a 1/8 scale, because the 1/8 scale is actually bigger than, if you've sat it next to the bus, it would be 3/4 of the length of the bus, and it just wouldn't look right, would it?
So you'd have to go 1/12, wouldn't it?
So it needs to be 1/12 scale, yeah. There's not a lot of vehicles that's actually 1/12 scale. There's a Morris Minor by Sunstar. There's a VW camper and van by Sunstar. There's a Mini by Sunstar. And then there's the Airfix kit with the 1/12 Bentley, which is a 1930s, what I call the John Steed 1930s blower type Bentley. There's one of them. There's some Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all that sort of thing that's 1/12 scale. There's some American cars, Cadillacs and Lincolns and such like that are 1/12 scale.
To stick to the theme of the bus, you'd want 1960s, like the Morris Minor. Sounds okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. He wasn't here in the chat earlier. Was in the chat earlier. He may still be in the chat. Nice guy from Yorkshire, Colin Paul, and I can't think of his handle. Where's his handle?
Dave.
Paul C61C70. Paul C61C70, I believe, bought a Morris Minor to go with his ROUTEMASTER, a black Morris Minor saloon, and that looks absolutely brilliant. It really does. So yeah, that's what it wants. So okay, we've got to go, chaps. Take care. Great show once again. Well, to say I was going about an hour ago. Well, good night, Roger. So, and thanks for joining us. So anyway, if anybody else has anything else, speak now or forever hold your peace. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you all. You've got me hoarse once again. I could talk for England. I can talk more than Penny, I think, sometimes. And that's something, isn't it? I'm sure Penny won't mind me saying that she can yak and rabbit on.
Yeah.
So thanks to you three guys for joining us tonight, to Chris, Adrian and Dave. Without you three guys, I don't know what I would have done. I'd have just sat here and yapped on and rabbited on about nothing and something. Thanks for being involved in all the chat, everybody that's been in the chat.
Yeah.
Please subscribe and to everybody's channel in the chat, and everybody that's joined me tonight, because they may want to live stream at some point. I'm really grateful that we haven't been cut off by the weather so far. Thanks ever so much for that, to the internet. I really thought I was going to go down the pan tonight with the internet. So that's one really thing. Good. And we'll see you sometime again in the future. Probably I'll be back on Wednesday on the ROUTEMASTER show. We didn't get to finish the week's thing off. Thursday, is it Wells of Wayne?
Okay.
Yes, it's going to be Wells of Wayne.
Wells of Wayne on Thursday. Friday, is it going to be Adrian?
If it's going to be me, it's going to be a different part work I might be doing.
Ah,
that
right.
Friday. Either be that Friday or a fortnight's time.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Well, we'll leave you to
that part work every 4 weeks or so.
Okay, so that's a new part wax then coming to Adrian Langley's channel, so that'll be worth the watch. So take a note of that, people, and that'll be in Christine's schedule as well. So, and Dave, we'll see you again sometime on some other channel, no doubt.
Probably 2 weeks time when I'm helping Adrian out.
2 weeks time, or we might see you in the chat on one of the others.
Yeah, I'll be in the chat.
Yeah, because of work and everything, obviously, yeah. So, yeah, okay. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us tonight. And I think it's time for me to say good night and God bless to everybody. And thank you all for joining me. And take care. And we'll see you again in about a month's time. So, and remember, I'm going to try and catch up to Christine. So, goodbye from me.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And goodbye from me.
Yeah, take care all.
So good night now. Thanks for joining us. Bye bye now.